Hey, welcome again. It's Andy of Andy Bower YouTube Fishing. I'm a little bit close today because the wind is howling a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. Down at Minehead, one of my lovely haunts. I love to come fish. I was going to go to Porlock this morning, but the wind is definitely a lot more than what was predicted. So I'm on Minehead, and the sand is uncovered really well. It's a pretty big tide. Just want to focus on a couple of things which I'll show you later on in terms about the cost effectiveness of bait. I've got some squid which I've sort of defrosted partially I've used before and took home. The packet was still sort of fairly sort of frozen. I've got some mackerel and some sand eels, less than £10 worth of bait, so I'm out fishing for less than £10 a day. Okay, it cost me fuel. Car parking, I've parked further than normal so I could walk to the destination. So yeah, I don't know if you know this area. You definitely must have seen it on some of my videos, but this sand uncovered today is a lot more than normal. I keep looking at my rods because they're bouncing a lot nicely, which is good. Sorry about the sound quality, but the water really is definitely out quite a bit. Don't usually sort of uncover that far down there. And as you can see, I've got some two rods out. I've got the Ziplexes today, Ziplex HSTs, very simple pulley rigs. On one of them I've got a £100 rig body and £80 hook length. That's for the Joey mackerel. And the other one I've got 80 and 70, so £80 rig body and £70 hook length. That'll be the other one. One of them I'll be casting a lot shorter than normal, and the other one, to be honest, with this wind, I'll just be trying to hit it as far as I can. So fingers crossed, hopefully we can get some fish. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy. So whilst I was listening to the radio on the way here, the so-called cost of living crisis really is well and truly in place, but I'm going to put the spin on this and call this the cost of fishing crisis. So today I've got some leftover squid from what I've used before, so I've used those at least once before. Sand eels I've had for a little while, and those mackerel, so that's the second time we've used that. Those are about £3, those are about £3. All that bait that I'm using today, which is more than enough for a day session, is less than £10. I make my own rigs. I've got a friend who makes lead weights for me, which I use a lot, but a lot of the lead weights which I find on the beaches. So I'm fishing for less than £10. I've parked in a place where you can park all day without having to pay for car parking. So the only real expense I've got today is what I've taken out of the freezer, and really it's just fuel getting here. I know £10 is a lot of money, but that's all day. I haven't bought any food, I haven't bought any sandwiches, I haven't bought any takeaways or anything like that. That's all I've got today, and a flask of coffee, that's it. So the tide is quite a way out compared to normal. It's a nice little hole just in front of me. I've got sand eel on the left rod, Joey on the right rod, or Joey mackerel. The wind really wasn't as expected to be today, but if you ever fish this area, or see me fish this area, this sand really is quite a fair way out the normal. So it just goes to show, when you are fishing here, obviously if you can fish from the top bank onto the sand, some people can't, some people can. Sorry about the noise, the wind, it's a lot more than what it should be. But you can see what you're fishing into just here. Just sand. Further up you go, it's a lot patchy, but it's quite amazing really seeing it on the seeing the tide really low. There we go, lovely. A bit of exercise. tide's just turned. It's a little bit of tidal pull there now. So these are the size joeys, lovely size. Normally with a top hook or the end hook, I stick just in, just before the sort of the head, I suppose, and then put elastic on. I always tend to put quite a bit of elastic around the eye of the hook to and where the sort of knot is, to secure it even more. And then in a minute just trim the tail and the head to allow the juices out. This is a fine elastic, so sometimes it may just snap off. Not that I want, but I'm not a fan of the real thick stuff, so personal preference again. As you can see, it's a massive hook out at the moment, so just trim that off. Trim the tail, trying not to snip the line. And as you can see straight away, the blood is already coming out of that. Pop the second hook in, down through the tail. Again, the blood's coming out of the tail already, which is cool. And then just do another quick lap of the elastic just to secure it even more. Trying to be as delicate as I can now. I can see some juices oozing out of this, so yeah, there we go. How to. Oops. And there's the finished bait. Hook's very, very proud, which is lovely. Pleased with that. I think it's worth noting on sandy beaches like this, couple of times I thought I was pulling through a line snag, but what I've realised is as the line's coming through the sand, there are obviously a couple of little sand undulations and sandbanks out there. I'm looking at the hook here. It's really sort of shiny just before the barb and then just after the barb. Now that to me, whether I'm right or wrong, I'm not too sure, but that to me tells me that that is coming through the sand like that as I'm winding it in, or getting caught into undulations. So it's definitely worth checking your hooks fishing in places like this, because that has got really shiny, and I can only assume that that's it dragging through the sand like that. So it's worth keeping an eye on. Any comments, or anybody know any different, or any other thought process, then let me know.